What's good, combat sports fans? Welcome back to another episode of Combat and Kick It. It's your host, Bando. This past weekend, Dricus du Plessis defended his middleweight championship against Sean Strickland in their rematch, and it was a pretty dominant performance overall. The card was an average card, but got to see the whole thing. So let's recap it. Let's talk about it. Let's get into the review. Let's go. All right, so first thing I got to talk about off of the prelims is we had the debut of Ilia Toporia's brother, Alexander Topuria. And this man is a spitting image. Just straight up spitting image. The exact same stance, exact same style. Everything that he was throwing looked just like his brother. Obviously not at the same level, not at the same IQ yet, but still looked good. Looked like he's got potential. Looked like he could put on some good fights and exciting fights. He's at bantamweight. Let's see if he cracks like his brother. It doesn't seem like he packs as much power or anything like that. But his striking is clean. He's got clean striking. He was striking well. He stays tight. So I'm not saying that I was like impressed, but I wasn't unimpressed. I thought he did very well. I thought the guy he fought against, Cody, was doing well too. Thicknessy, or however you say his name. I thought he was doing well too. But yeah, Topuria, the Topuria brothers. Interesting. They both are extremely skilled. So that we already know how far Ilia got, and being able to beat fucking Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski, that's insane. It's insane. Not just beat them, but finish both of them. That's insane. It's insane. So let's see if his brother can do the same type of stuff. I mean, bantamweight division is a stacked, tough division. So we'll see what happens for him. I'm dumb as shit. Dude's name is Colby Thicknessy, not Cody. Dumbass. All right, but anyways, let's get to the main card, right? So you had Jake Matthews and Francisco Prado, who faced off opening the card, and that fight was a banger. That was a great fight. Jake Matthews has some really good boxing. Was throwing good combinations. Every combination he was throwing looks like he was throwing to kill him. So he was really looking to go for the finish, really get a big statement made, but Francisco Prado kept pushing forward, kept trying to get in the slugfest. He was getting caught with some clean shots and sending some clean shots back, but Jake Matthews definitely did control pretty much the entire fight when it came to the striking. He was striking really well. He was striking really clean. His defense was good. He was getting out of the way of shots and stuff like that, coming back with good counter shots. So it was a fantastic performance by Jake Matthews, and probably could be fight of the night. That fight was really, really good. It was back and forth. The whole time they were on their feet. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to not say, but I would say, yeah, that was fight of the night for sure. But it was a great performance by Jake Matthews as well. So, definitely need to get him a bonus. What's next for Jake Matthews? He's in a tough division, so it's always difficult. Maybe see him against somebody like, let's see who's close. Because I don't even think he's ranked yet, so you can maybe give him the 15th ranked guy or something like that in the welterweight division. Ranked 15 is Michael Venom Page, so I probably wouldn't do that because it just doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't spark interest for people, especially with the way that Michael Venom Page is. He could put on a big performance against a big name, right? So you put him on a big card, just like they had him on this last one. So I don't see him fighting Jake Matthews, but I can see maybe Jake Matthews fighting Vicente Luque is not a bad idea. That would actually be a pretty interesting fight. That would be pretty good. If you're trying to get him to a ranked guy, right? You're trying to put him against somebody that's in the top 15. Vicente Luque, that would make an action-packed fight. It would be an exciting fight. It's a great fight that's either like doing what it did this past week, like opening a main card you know, or the main event of the prelims on a big card, something like that. But that could be a very exciting fight. You really can't shoot him too high too fast. I mean, he's been in the game for a minute, bouncing up and down. So, but yeah, that was a great performance and a good win by Jake Matthews. Then you move on to Jimmy Crute and Rodolfo Bellato. Damn you, Jimmy Crute, bro. I needed you to get a knockout so badly, and you almost had it. You almost had it. You had me thinking. But you fucked it up. No, I'm just, a fucking draw. Fight ends in a draw. It honestly pretty much was a draw. It was a pretty close fight. You saw Jimmy Crute was going for the kill, going for the finish in the first round, right? Kind of unloaded the gas tank a little bit. Second round started to fade. Came out in the third round. Didn't have the same amount of energy, but they put on a good fight. Rodolfo Bellato was getting tagged up and then switched it over, was tagging him up. So it was back and forth on the feet. There was slight ground exchanges, nothing that had full control or anything crazy, but it was a pretty good fight, honestly. Just Jimmy Crute almost got the KO. I needed him on one of the parlays for a KO. He almost got it. He rocked Rodolfo Bellato. If the first round was just a little bit longer, probably would have ended up getting the finish, but he didn't. But it was a pretty decent fight. It's tough, man. Jimmy Crute has now had, I think, 2 draws in his last 3 fights. I mean, that sucks. That sucks. Every time you get so close, you can't get a win. You don't lose. Get a draw. That's got to be trash. Honestly, like already having 1 draw, I think I would rather lose than to take another draw. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Like a draw, it's like, oh, okay. Just making us both happy, huh? Just don't want to hurt nobody's feelings tonight, huh? Couldn't give somebody else the decision. But honestly, this fight really was a draw. Like I couldn't argue with it. I thought it was going to end up going to Rodolfo Bellato because the shots that he was landing they looked like they were doing more damage, right? And Jimmy Crute physically looked like he was gassing out in there and tiring. So I thought it was going to end up going to Rodolfo Bellato, but Jimmy Crute did land a lot of good shots that dealt a lot of damage early on. So it balanced out, and I could agree with the draw. Justin Tafa versus Talison Teixeira. There's nothing even to say. That shit was quick. 30-something seconds. That's the fastest anybody has ever finished either one of the Tafas. But he went in there, Teixeira went in there and made it quick. I mean, I don't even have to like review it, recap. There's nothing to review or recap. It was a fast knockout. Simple as that. It was one of them types of heavyweight knockouts that you can expect in the first. You can always expect in the first round. It could happen in the first 30 seconds. The guy's got to get to swinging. I mean, I always think of like heavyweight matchups almost like Francis Ngannou. If every heavyweight went in there like Ngannou against Rosenstruck, like you just swinging for the fences. You land one of them, probably gonna clip them, But honestly, you don't want to get clipped. This is the fucking heavyweight division. You don't want to get clipped. You don't want to do nothing stupid. But Talison Teixeira went in there real quick. And he knew what he was going to do, and he got to finish real quick. That was a good night for him. All right, let's get real for a second. Get into this co-main event. Was this a fraud check, or was this just a phenomenal performance by the champion? And for me, it was just a phenomenal performance by the champion. I don't know how you could really say somebody like TATIANNA Suarez got fraud checked. She's not really a fraud. She just got beat by somebody that was better. You know what I mean? Like, it's different. It's not like somebody she totally should have beat. Like, if she would have got beaten by Carla Esparza, that would have been a fraud check. Like, that would have been a legit fraud check. No offense to Carla Esparza, but that would have been a fraud check. Like, TATIANNA Suarez was a huge favorite going into that fight. She should have totally won that fight, and she did. Right? She got it done. But that would have been a fraud check. You're fighting the best in the world. Weili Zhang is, in my opinion, the best female fighter in the world right now. I think she's better than Valentina. I know a lot of people can argue that, but bring on the arguments. I think she's a lot better than Valentina. You can't act like Valentina hasn't been finished and Weili's also been finished. So it's like there's a lot of arguments. I know people would bring, oh, she took Amanda Nunes basically 10 rounds. It's like, yeah, that's awesome. That's fantastic, right? But Weili Zhang is she the best in the game right now. After a performance like that, and she was coming in as the underdog as champion? Yeah. Fuck yeah. Best in the game right now. After I can't, like, that performance was A1. She was piecing Tatiana up on her feet. Besides the 3 minutes of control that Tatiana had in the first round, right? Tatiana, the whole talk of the fight, the buildup of the fight was her wrestling was going to be the difference maker. As if Weili didn't train all that time with an Olympic gold medalist, also a UFC champion, Henry Cejudo, Triple C. She was getting that work in with a solid wrestling crew, right? So, and that was a while ago, right? That was when she was getting kind of more of a base of wrestling. Now she's great on both sides, right? Tatiana Suarez was able to control in that first round, but once Weili realized that she has enough strength to get out of the positions that Tatiana was trying to get her in, she also is going to piece her up on her feet. She did not get any more control after that. Tatiana Suarez did not see 0 seconds of control after that. And it's not that she did bad. She just had no answer for anything, right? She had no answer for anything. It's almost as if the whole answer was, we're going to get her down in the first round, and as long as we get her down, we got the fight won. She had to fight to get those, to try to get any submission locked in. She almost did. But then once she failed, she saw, there was a lot of resistance from Weili. She gave her to work. She gave her to work. She made her pay every time she couldn't get a submission. She was hitting her with good shots on the ground. Anytime they were on the feet, this is the one thing that, like, a lot of fighters piss me off with, right? They could be losing on the ground and then they'll finally get their opportunity on the feet and they won't do shit. Weili, she did shit. She was pushing it, bro. She was getting to it. She was landing good shots. She was landing shots looking to finish too. And a lot of champions don't send those type of shots all the time because, there's always risk. The risk of this one was you throw those crazy shots and then Tatiana Suarez gets you down. Not on Weili. That fucking takedown defense was insane. Insane. Her takedown defense was on point. There was actually one point, I think it was in the fourth. It was somewhere between the third and the fifth round. Somewhere in there, right? And Tatiana kept shooting for this single leg. She couldn't get her hands together for the double leg. Weili was doing very good at defending that. Weili was doing really good at defending that. But she went for a single leg. She pulled it up. She had her leg all the way up here. And Weili was just balancing on the one leg. Tatiana was sweeping that same leg. And Weili was staying up. It was extremely impressive. It was extremely impressive. And I don't think that anybody is going to put Weili as the underdog again. I mean, maybe to me, the only fight to make is her and Valentina Shevchenko now. Right? I don't see any other fight that makes any sense. Right? Maybe there is. Some people wanted to see. Some people said Jandiroba. Some people said Mackenzie Dern. Some people said a rematch with Tatiana Suarez, and it's like, nah. Valentina Shevchenko, go up. Go to 125. Weili deserves it. Go up. Go get another belt. Because you could do it. Valentina ain't got no opponent right now. Mano Fiorot, maybe. If that ever happens. It's probably never going to happen. So, let's see if they actually have that talked about at all. Yeah, they don't even have an official thing for Mano Fiorot yet. So, fucking do Valentina and Weili, man. Makes sense to me. Makes a lot of sense to me, at least. But Weili, fantastic performance. But in my opinion, not a fraud check for Tatiana Suarez. I guarantee you, she squashes the rest of the division. I don't see anybody else in the division that actually will be able to stuff her wrestling like that. But she should. She does need to to come up with some different entries, because once she couldn't get the takedown, she started making it really obvious on every single entry. She had nothing to set it up with. So she'll make adjustments. She'll make adjustments, and I think she comes back in the next fight, whoever she fights, and it's easy. We're moving on to the main event. Speaking of easy, Dricus had an easy night. Sean didn't give him much to work against. Look, Dricus was doing nothing different, unique, or crazy. He just threw more volume. He froze Sean up. Sean wasn't even able to throw the typical teep and jab and get any pressure going, right? He kept it on him, and he was throwing a lot of just throwing a lot of shit up. You know, just making it hard for you to time him and everything like that. Like, he fights so weird. He fights so... Bro, it's so bad. I don't fucking get it. Like, if this was boxing, right? If we go over to boxing and you throw strikes like Dricus du Plessis in boxing, you're getting knocked out. There's no question about it. There's no question about it. Unless you got power like Deontay Wilder, it's not, you're getting knocked out. And it's just wild in this sport. You even see him be able to outland and outstrike better strikers. It's crazy, but Dricus did really well. I can't say nothing bad about it. Besides the fact that he has the ugliest style to be where he's at, he's where he's at, and he's doing very well. And, you know, it's weird. It's like, style-wise, when you look at it, it's hard to be like, oh, yeah, he's improved. But if you really pay attention to the IQ, the adjustments made, everything like that, he has improved a lot. So he's still killing it in the UFC, and I don't know who's going to stop him. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. I'm just saying. I think obviously Hamzat is the next man. I think Hamzat beats him. But if he can't get Dricus out early, that could be an issue for him. That's all I'm going to say. But let's before I even get into something else, let's just talk about this fight, right? Sean was pissing me off, man. If I'm being honest, he was just pissing me off. Like, dude, we're going to fight to the death, man. We're going to fight to the fucking death, man. Let's go. We're doing the fucking man dance. Gets cracked in his nose. He put his nose back together, though. I give him props for that. But, like, for a guy who talks about going in there to scrap so much, to throw as little volume as he did in this fight was actually shocking to me. He was barely throwing the jab. Wasn't following up with anything behind the jab when he did throw the jab. He was checking leg kicks, wasn't offering nothing back, wasn't throwing any kicks to the body, and obviously never throws any kicks to the head. His overhand rights were slow, telegraphed, and just not... You know, sometimes guys do have off nights, right? Maybe he had an off night. Every time he went back to the corner and Eric Nixick was up in his face, letting him know, like, bro, I need you to throw more. I need you to get going. It's like Sean didn't want to hear it. And that's a problem. That's a problem. You have to listen to your coach, especially one like Eric. He's smart as shit. He makes good adjustments. He lets you know what's up. He lets you know that, bro, you're not doing shit. You have to go do something. And that's exactly what it was with Sean. Sean wasn't doing anything. Would he have won the fight? I don't know. I think Dricus still would have probably ended up getting the win. But at least make it somewhat close. Make it somewhat where it looked like you put up a fight. Make it to almost like if you lose this fight, it was so close that you can still be able to get yourself another title shot if he's still champion in a year or something like that. It's still possible, right? You're always a win away if you put on a good enough fight. But a fight like that, Sean's now got to build. He's got to come back and build. He's got to fight a couple fights, make a couple statements, not just jabbing and teeping his way to a decision. He's got to come back and get some finishes, and then maybe you could talk about it again. But after a performance like that, it was just very, I don't know, maybe he was just off. I mean, Sean doesn't bring a ton to the table anyways, right? We talk about the jab, the teep. We talk about the 1-2s. The boxing is here and there, but he doesn't bring much to the table anyways. The thing that pisses me off about it is he has skill. He has wrestling skill. He can wrestle. He never shoots. He never shoots. He doesn't clinch with guys. He doesn't do anything up against the kid. He does nothing besides just tapping jabs and everything like that. That's why when Alex went in there, he cooked him. Real fast. Easy. Shama. Overall, Sean's just got to come with something different next fight. You know, he's going to have a tough one. Who knows who it's going to be? Obviously, he's already beat Imavov. Imavov's looking probably to be a backup for Dricus and Hamzat whenever that happens. Hopefully we can get that. That'd be a dope fight to have, like, in the fall. Like right after like all the international fight week type of stuff, going into the late summer, going into the fall. Like that's a good spot. That's a good spot. It could be a very good card if you're smart. It could be a very good card if you're smart. But overall, that's it for this recap. You know, there wasn't a ton in this card. It was somewhat exciting, somewhat lackluster, a couple good fights, couple good finishes, couple cheeky fights. But overall, I'd say the performance of the night went to Weili Zhang. The fight of the night went to Jake Matthews and Francisco Prado. And knockout of the night, how do you take it away from Teixeira? 35 seconds against Atafa. That's pretty badass. Only other one that I could think of that was a good, I mean, it was an arguable stoppage, but it was a pretty good knockout, was that first one of the night, the one that opened it, that the Australian kid who landed that beautiful one too down the middle. I mean, he cleaned his shit, but you know, it looked like he went out, but he also got up pretty quick to be able to argue. So I don't know, but either way, it was a decent night of fights. Nothing amazing, nothing crazy. But now we're set in stone. Now we're set in stone because every Saturday from now on for the next, 10 Saturdays? UFC, bitch. Let's go, bitch. Yeah, bitch. Yeah, bitch! All right, that's it for this episode. I appreciate you guys for watching. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification button so you know when the next episode is out. The next episode, I'm probably going to be doing a matchmaking episode. So if you want to see who I got for all these guys to fight in their next fights, go ahead and subscribe. Do all that stuff. Hit the bell notification. I'll catch you on the next episode. Your boy Bando's out.